Good morning, uh, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. It is Wednesday, the 15th of December. My dog is not cooperating, so there may be moments of barking. Just prepare yourself, it's very loud, kind of relentless. Good day to you. Um, of course, I must always begin by saying, please do say hello in the comments. Oh, I think I again forgot to mark that I wanted to see my comments. Arr, 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 arr. Let's see if you're there. Um, no, I can't see you. Oh well. Please pardon me if I can't. If I can't. Oh look. Hi Sandy. Oh my God, Rebecca Reedy and Sandy DeLonga in the same minute showed up. Wow, that's just crazy. Hello. Oh, I love you both so much. Hi Yvonne. Thank you so much. Yeah, so my comments are off, so I'll have to check in periodically. But I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for showing up. That's like the first thing in life, right? You have to show up. So we're going to talk today about how to be a presence without being an annoyance. This is a really interesting thing to me because we're so super hyper conscious about in voiceover. This is very interesting if you think about this. We're so hyper conscious about being seen, and yet we chose a profession where we're in a booth alone by ourselves, like, and we're not seen. We're heard, right? We're not seen. So I find this to be like on a philosophical level a really interesting topic. And I do have very particular opinions about it. So I'm just going to share them with you and make of them what you will. You know, everybody is going to interpret this differently, but this is my point of view. Um, First, I think there is what's the word? There's a misconception that we have to have presence on social media in order to work. Come here, Saul. Come here. She's not going to come. Oh, look, she did. Um, that you have to have a presence on social media in order to work, and I don't buy it. Just plain and simple, I don't buy it, and I don't buy it because I know so many working voice actors who are busy, who again, I've said this before, don't have Facebook pages and they don't have Instagram accounts and they are not on Twitter and they're working every day and they're not thinking about their presence. They're thinking about the work. They're just doing the work, right? And I even think in this sort of new age of voiceover, which really isn't new, it's a few decades old, but even in this new sort of milieu, if you will, of voiceover where um, people are doing voiceover without agents and people are doing voiceover on their own and through LinkedIn and through pay to play sites and all those things. I think it still holds. I think that there are so many more people who are working in voiceover. We don't even know their names. We don't know who they are. We listen all the time and hear things on the radio and on TV, and we go, who is that? I don't know who that is, right? And I'm on social media a lot, and you would think that if those people were advertising themselves, um, I would know who they are, but they're not. So I just want to start with that, right? You don't have to be a presence on social media to have a voiceover career. That's number one, right? But now let's just assume you have a presence and you want to be a presence and you don't want to be annoying. and um, so my question there would be, what do you have to offer? What are you offering? What are you providing? Because that's really the question. Because if you have something to offer that people need, you won't be an annoyance to them. You will be a help to them. Um, and I'll say right alongside that, that no matter what you do, no matter what your presence, no matter if it's subtle or loud and boisterous, you will always annoy someone. We are really ready in our culture to be annoyed by every little thing. I'm confident, like my Facebook page of late, over the last 6 to 8 months, is full of quotes and invitations to come to these Facebook Lives. I can't even imagine how many people are irritated by that, right? And I don't post a lot of kind of personal things that I used to post. And that's just because I am my attention is elsewhere. I'm trying to put a life together in a different state and, you know, raising a teenager and doing all the things that adult people do, right? But I'm confident that I annoy people with my presence, and I don't care. And I'll tell you why I don't care. Because I feel like I have something to offer the people who are interested in it, right? And so I offer it. And if people don't like it, they don't have to come. If people don't like my page, they can unfriend me. And it's really okay, you know? So I think again, I think everybody's going to find something annoying. Um, and, um, and so I think we have to sort of switch the question, right? Because I think what's behind the question, how to be a presence without being an annoyance, is this focus on what people think of you. What do people think of you? And again, I would just say, stop asking that question, because it's really, the question really is for you to answer. What do I have to offer? What gift am I presenting in the world, right? That's a far more interesting thing. It's a far more solvable problem, if you will, right? It does require attention to yourself. It requires a willingness to discover what it is that you love and that you want to do and that you want to give to the world. But that ought to be kind of exciting to you, to think, what do I have, and what do I want to give, and how do I want to help, right? Those are the important questions, right? Oh, I just had a thought and it left my head. Of course, because that's how it is when you get to this age. um, and again, the whole thing about being an annoyance, oh my goodness, the question even just sort of breaks my heart. Like the self-consciousness of that, right? The idea that we're an annoyance in the world, you know. Um, yeah, that's a big shift. I think that requires a big shift. Um, so I'm just gonna look and scroll and see if you have any questions that are going on here, right? Like, okay, no questions. Okay, well, I guess I answered that, and we're all done for today. Not true. Um, so here's the other really important piece to me. The, when you're on social media and you are present there, like you have an account and you interact and you engage and you post things, and you want to be kind of a part of the community of voiceover people, um, and you like to post, and you don't want to post too much about yourself, right? Um, um, that I think is a primary annoyance, if you will. Um, when people, in an attempt to say, I'm here, I'm talented, I'm worthy, hire me, and they do that by posting their work, that can be really off-putting for a number of reasons. The primary reason is that most people aren't working. That's just the truth. Most people aren't working every day. And so it looks like it comes across as, and I honestly don't think that people intend this. I think well enough of people that I don't think they intend it, the vast majority of people, but it really comes off as bragging. And that's never fun. That's never fun to be misinterpreted as having been bragging. And it also sort of it makes the recipient kind of feel like, ugh, they're always talking about their work, as if they have no other part of their lives except work, 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 right? And then, oh, they must be earning a lot more money than I am. Oh, I must be nothing. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, right. So what does it engender, when you post your stuff? And also the when you post your stuff, you must know that your clients are not watching your Facebook page. I said this last week or the last time we were together. Your clients aren't watching your Facebook page. They're working. They're writing scripts. They're getting stuff ready to air. They're doing their jobs, and so they're not watching. And so the only people who are really seeing those kinds of attempts to have a presence are your peers and your friends and your family, right? And if that is what you're after, to show your friends and your family what you're doing, good on ya. Like, have at it, right? Just know what your point is, and if you're thinking that it is showing you as a presence in the world of voiceover, I would just beg to differ. Um, and I guess I would beg to differ on the importance of that, because I just don't think it's important, right? And yet, if you love to post and you love to be engaged in the voiceover community on social media, I would suggest to you, and again, I've said this before, I would suggest to you that you post about other people. You post about the people that you work with, and you post their accomplishments, and you say, "Good for you. Look what you did. I aspire to you," or "What a beautiful job you did on this particular thing," right? Or actually post about your clients if you're able, right? If you worked with a great producer and you had a fantastic time, say so. Because those are the people who are unsung heroes. The writers and the directors, they don't get kudos for all the work that they do and the beautiful script that they wrote for you so that you would sound gorgeous on their spot. They don't get that kind of attention. So give that attention. Be generous of spirit in that way. And this isn't the primary benefit, of course, but there is a benefit to it because your name is attached to the post. And so you're actually, you're making yourself known, right? But you're making yourself known in a spirit of generosity and kindness to other people. And everybody wants to work with kind and generous people, right? So, and I don't ever think that posting about other people and singing their praises is ever construed as an annoyance. I feel like you could do that all day long and nobody be annoyed by it, you know? Dave Walsh used to do this with his coaching business. And I can't remember what he called it, but it was kind of a hero of the week or something to that extent. And he would post about people who did a beautiful thing that week. And I just love that, and sometimes it had, actually, I think most times it had nothing to do with voiceover. It just had to do with goodness, and sort of an inspiration, right? And I don't know if he does that anymore, but I love that. And that's the kind of thing that I feel like we should be aspiring to. Your voiceover career is not dependent upon your social media presence. There are people who will argue with me on that. And I've experienced this before myself, where it's like, when you submit your audition, please give us your Instagram handle and tell us how many followers you have. I don't want to work for those people. Everybody gets to make their own choice in that department, but that's the last thing I want to do. Like, really? Is that the most important thing? how many followers I have. I understand it in the scheme of things, in the game of things, but it feels a little cheap to me because what they're doing is actually relying upon you for their audience when they're not doing the work to cultivate their own audience and do that hard work. That's hard work. So you're going to take my hard work. Like, I just don't like it. And I know, I'm confident that there are people who could say, that's not how it works, K-Bess, and you've misunderstood, and we're all in this together, and we're just trying to pool all our resources to get our film, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You know, um, I'd rather we start with the audition and see if I have the talent to do the role, and then we can talk about how we maximize our social media presence in order to sell the film or what have you, right? But really, that comes first. I don't play. You may want to play that game. I don't want to play it. There's so much other work. It's like my sister. I'm so proud of her. My sister just started doing voiceover. She's 3 years older than I am. She's been a high school theater teacher for years. She's a creative, she's a writer, talented person, singer, the whole deal. And she just started a few months ago. And, she'd gotten to like 50 auditions, on a pay to play site. And she just booked like 2 or 3 things right in a row, right? Do you know her name? No, you don't. But she's working. And she's super proud of it and she earned it. And you know why she's working? Because she did the auditions. She lives in Alaska, for God's sake. So auditions come in, at 2 in the morning for her. And they're already done by the time a normal person in Alaska would wake up. But she's up and she stays up and she waits for the auditions to come in and then she gets them in and then she goes to bed. She's working and you don't know her name. So there are thousands of people like that all through the country. That's what they do. Thousands and thousands and thousands. There are more of them than there are of us on social media. So you don't have to be a presence to have a career. And then if you want to be a presence and you don't want to be an annoyance, refrain as best you can from bragging and brag on others instead. And that I don't think you'll be an annoyance in that way. And then if you're really part of social media, post about your life. Like, it's so great to me when I see, I just had a lovely email chat with Tom Pinto, who, as you know, is a voiceover coach. And he was my very first voiceover coach so many years ago. And here we are having a conversation about growing tomatoes and our love for Joni Mitchell. And when he posts things, and he posts pictures of him and his daughter, and he posts in the summer his beautiful garden, that's the stuff. He could do that every day. That's not an annoyance. And yet there he is. There's Tom Pinto. Like, I'm aware of Tom Pinto. You know what I mean? And so post your life and let go of the idea that you have to either please people or somehow not be an annoying person, because somebody is going to find you annoying. And I hope that is like the most liberating thing I could say. Like, do you realize there are people who are just not going to like you? And you have to just like give it up, and focus on the people who do. So shift your mindset about that. Be yourself on social media, because your work isn't dependent upon what you post. It isn't. So, all right. Wow, I've spoken for 20 minutes. Tell me, do you have any questions? I'm looking. I don't see any. Hi, Sandy. Yeah, my sister's story is inspiring to me too, because she, like so many people, right, like are like, when am I gonna book? When am I gonna book? It's like, wow, you've only been doing it for a couple months, and so like we're all so anxious, right? So I do love that story, but the part of the story that doesn't even we don't even think about is the fact that Nobody knows her name. That's okay. Nobody knows her name except the person who hired her. So, um, so to tag on to the end of this and let you go, um, how to be a presence. Turn in your auditions because those are the people you want to be present to, are the people who are sending you auditions. You want them to know that you're there. So that's the best advice I could possibly give. You want to be a presence without being an annoyance? Turn in your auditions. Your agents will love you for it. Your clients will love you for it. The algorithm of pay-to-play sites will love you for it, and you will be rewarded because the more you audition, the better your odds of booking. Period. So I leave you with that, and I hope you have a fantastic remainder of your week and a beautiful holiday season. I am going to try to decorate my house today. I do want to say one thing I learned living in Tennessee is that poinsettias are not a winter flower. They don't survive outside below 45 degrees. Just take it from me. I bought all these poinsettias from Trader Joe's. They're like really beautiful and really in really good shape. I put them out. I have this huge porch. I put them out on my porch. Oh, they look so pretty. The next morning I came out and they were all dead because there was a frost. I mean, it was like 29 degrees and I'm like, they sold me crappy flowers. And then I did a little Google search and it's like, yeah, they're not in, bring them indoors. So that's my extra tip for the day. Anyway, I hope you have a beautiful remainder of the week, beautiful holiday season. If you have any questions or comments, please just continue to post on this thread. I will see them and review them. And you can always direct message me or find me any way that you can. So, all right. Mwah. Love to you all. And I think I'm going to see you the week after Christmas. So we'll skip this next week, Christmas week, and then I'll be back in between Christmas and New Year's. I think that's right. Okay. Mwah. Take care. Ciao.